G'day, I'm Hugh Bowman from Action Coach Geelong. So today I want to talk about the process of quarterly planning for small businesses. And the reason I want to talk about this is that the value you get from doing your quarterly plan is just massive. In fact, every single person I know who does a quarterly plan always achieves a lot more. In fact, the people that I work with, clients that I work with regularly, we do quarterly plans. We even organise a workshop to do it because I know they always achieve more. However, you still can do it by yourself, but I only hope that you do it to the same degree and the same level of intensity as what we do here. But today I'm going to go through the process because it is hugely valuable. So this is where we start. So we always do what we call, we review the past. Because planning ahead, unless you know what's happened in the past, you can't actually, you need to appreciate where you've come from and also work out what hasn't gone well. So what we do is this, we talk about the wins. We talk about here, wins. Now, you as a business owner might be that, yeah, you've got, 3 or 5 big wins, and I don't mind what they are. It might be like you've, won some big jobs or you might have, made some sort of certain level of dollars, you might have employed someone, whatever it is, allow yourself to pump up your tyres a bit because you need to go feel a bit good about where you've been. Now, if you've got a bigger business and you've got other team members that might sort of look after, for example, HR or sales and marketing and operations, each of these might have 3 or 5 as well. So the sales and marketing might be a new website, or you might have started some social media, or your operations might have been some new system or a job management system you might have done. So this is where you can start to bring your team in and come with a bunch of wins. And this is good because it gets everyone involved. And sometimes you do have to dig pretty deep, find something must be something we've done well. So that's the positive side of it. Then we flip to, the less positive side of it. So let's call it the challenges. And of course, it's pretty much the same thing. You might go, what are the key challenges from the owner? There might be a few. In fact, usually there's a lot more. When you get to challenges, people have more challenges than they do wins, but that's okay. And then similarly, you might have some sales and marketing challenges with, corrupt systems or something, trying to win jobs, and you might have, and the same goes for ops and HR, you've had staff issues. And so flesh out and this is where some of your goals are starting to come from, some of your challenges. So next, I want to talk about numbers. Because this is what really shows up where you think at. So now when I want to talk about numbers, this is what I'm talking about. I want to have numbers of leads. It could be numbers of jobs. I want to have, what about the key ones? Sales might be, or profits. And some businesses are, might have a particular number that means a lot more to them. It might be like a average percentage GP, or a client of mine's got effective hourly rate, like a charge out rate, which he works out. So you need to dig into the numbers because this will show you what you're going to need to in the future, and that's going to be the result. So you've got to do the numbers, and then we've got to reset and start looking at what your long-term goal. Just review your long-term goal. So it can be whatever you choose, but it could be 5, 3, 1 year out goals, and then we start looking at, well, what's your quarterly goals? Given the numbers that you've got in the last quarter and your longer-term goal and what your plan is, let's start talking about what's your quarterly goal now, given the challenges and the wins of the last quarter. Now we talk about quarterly goals. Some people like to have goals as long as this, but that many you just can't achieve. So what I talk about is kind of like 3 big goals three goals in total, sorry, I should say. Three goals, one big and two small. You might just have one goal is probably okay, but for each of the three, you need to flesh it out a bit. Goal one is going to have a bunch of things that you need to do to deliver goal one. So these are the actions. Goal two plus a bunch of actions, and then goal three and a bunch of actions that you need to do to deliver goal three. So hopefully that gives you it's a pretty simple rundown, but it's something that you can all do. Now, to what degree you go through all these steps doesn't actually matter. The more depth you go to, the better you will do, but even any level of planning will really help you out. So, any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Hope it helps you.